it's helped me provide everything that I want for my clients. So we could do surgeries here. And I'm not an orthopedic surgeon, but I have a surgeon that comes in
Oh,
and then
cool.
surgeries here if there's an ACL or fracture. So I'll hire them and then they come in and they do it. And then my patients are under my care and not referred to other clinics.
Hi, guys, and welcome to the House Call Vet Cafe podcast. I'm Dr. Eve Harrison. I'm a full-time integrative concierge house call veterinarian in Los Angeles, and I help other vets to build their unique mobile practices on their terms. This podcast is for and by house call and mobile veterinarians, so it is meant to give our community a platform to connect, to share our stories, to lift each other up, and to support each other. Most of us work solo as lone wolves, right? So for me, it's been really powerful to be able to physically hear the voices of my colleagues from all over the world and to get a chance to feel that we truly are part of a community of very real other human beings who get it. While you may be alone in that little bubble of your own vehicle when you're on the road seeing patients, I welcome you to join our community by tuning into our own podcast when you're on your way to your next house call. Whether you're a super experienced house call vet with 30 years of experience, you're a brand new prospective house call vet just looking to get started, or you're house call curious, there will be something for you in this podcast. Each episode, you will hear interviews from other mobile veterinarians just like yourself who are doing unique and innovative things, vets who are sharing their stories, their struggles and challenges, and you can also look forward to hearing valuable information and perspectives from specialists and experts outside of our micro niche. And finally, if becoming a house call veterinarian is something that you've been thinking about exploring, or you're looking for some extra support getting your own mobile practice to feel more profitable and sustainable for you, check out the information in the show notes about my course and our above and beyond supportive private community for members only, plus our monthly group coaching sessions within the House Call Vet Academy. You can also check out my free public Facebook group, which is also called the House Call Vet Cafe, the same name as this podcast, and which is a warm and cozy community for mobile vets to support each other in professional and personal development, in creative entrepreneurship, and in friendship. So thank you guys for spending time with me today. Let's dive into the episode. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's show. We have with us today Dr. Veronica Bocanegra. She is a 2007 model grad from Western University of Health Sciences charter class. She has been doing mobile veterinary medicine in Rancho Cucamonga, California since 2012. Before that, she completed her Bachelor of Science in Wildlife, Fish, and Conservation Biology from UC Davis, which is really cool. And she currently resides in Fontana with her 2 boys and her 2 doggies. She's got some really, really cool hobbies that make me very jealous. So she is a CrossFit person. She does competition pistol shooting, mountain hiking, and rock and ice climbing. Damn. And she is the founder and admin of the House Call Vet Network Facebook group. So welcome, Veronica. I'm so excited to have you here. You're just like an all-around cool person. So I wanted to start out the podcast by asking you the question that I always ask. What is your favorite snack to eat in the car while you're on the way to your house calls?
I think we always start with the bistro box and Starbucks. So we always kind of make a stop at Starbucks with my check, get some coffee, and then get some snacks. So that's pretty much the thing. I kind of bring my own food most of the time, but that's the go-to that has protein and fruit and carbs and keeps me full for a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, Starbucks it's just so easy to just pop in there and get the snacks that you need.
Because we're driving all the time, so we just get in the drive-through and just take off from there.
Oh, yeah, I've never actually been through the Starbucks drive-through. Is it
Oh,
fast?
maybe not. I just don't want to get out of my car.
Fair enough. So I'd love to hear a little bit about your journey becoming a house call vet or mobile vet. How did you get started with that?
I was working at a clinic for about 4 years or so. And then I get a lot of friends and family wanting me to go to their house. So then I was like, okay, I'll just do it. But then, it costs money. And one of my friends kind of recommended, you should maybe open up an S Corp and do it and write it off. And then buy, medications and all that stuff through as a corporation. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that. So I did that. And then I got referrals. And then I started going to people's homes. And then I got busier and busier to the point that I didn't really need to go to the clinic. I kind of was doing my own thing. So I was doing half and half. And then eventually I got to the point that I didn't need to work for anybody anymore. I just was busy enough that I could just do my own thing and schedule my own hours and make more money than working for sure and work less. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so many of us find that we can just do better working for ourselves, work less and make more. It's so
Yep.
cool how it was like an organic kind of process for you. It
Yep.
just sort of happened, right?
Yeah. And then, I was really lucky because I have a classmate who was doing mobile vet work. So she kind of guided me. She told me what to do, what licenses to get, and what companies to use. And so she kind of helped me a lot to get started. So that's very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mentorship is so valuable. I also had a friend who kind of paved the way for me too and helped me out and then, at a certain point you kind of do your own thing and branch out and learn your own lessons and it's kind of cool. Like our community is so connected that way.
Absolutely. And I think that's why I started that group, that Facebook group, because I had questions and a lot of normal like vets that work at a brick and mortar didn't know how to answer that. So I figured maybe starting my own group or having mobile vets chime in and kind of give me advice will be very helpful. And then having people who want to become a mobile vet get in there and then get some guidance and some mentorship for sure. So
Mhm. Yeah, that's awesome. So, when did you start that group? And, it's a pretty big group. It's also a pretty peaceful and friendly group of
yeah,
vets, which is not always the case on Facebook. That's for sure. Can you tell me a little bit about what it's been like to moderate that group? And do you
right.
think I have a theory that house call vets are generally nicer people. Do you think that's true?
We're happy. We love our job. We're not working for well, I mean, we some work for people, but I think we just love what we do. Not that other vets don't love what they do, but sometimes, you work for somebody, you're overworked and you don't make enough money and you're kind of like, ah. I think I don't remember when I started it to be honest, but I just had people starting to request add-ons. To be honest with you, I don't really moderate it very much. I'm very picky who I add to the group. So I only add vets. I will not add managers. I will not add technicians. If somebody starts selling or recruiting, I don't like that because this is supposed to be a group for vets that will help each other out. Not this is completely different. So if they start selling things, I'll have them go get another group or, I let them know. But I don't participate very much in every single conversation. I just, once in a while I'll look at it, but it kind of moderates itself, which is really cool. I don't notice any drama. I think one time I had somebody that flagged a comment and we addressed it and that's it. But it hasn't been any issues. So I'm happy. We have 705 members now, which is really cool.
Yeah. Congrats. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a really cool group, and that's nice that it's a little bit hands off, people can kinda handle themselves, which is great.
We're all adults, and it seems when I look at a lot of people they answer the questions and everybody gets, good advice. So it's very nice to have because there's vet to vet, which all of us also use, but that's more for veterinarians that work at a clinic. And a lot of the things that we do are very different when you go to people's homes or sedation wise or stuff that we need to deal with at a house call instead of a vet clinic. You at the vet clinic, you have all these technicians and you have the managers. And when we go to the house calls, it's just us and our staff, like two technicians. So we got to be a little bit more creative. So that's when the group also helps a lot with tips.
Yeah,
I-
I love that, and it's so true. There's so many things about mobile practice that are dramatically different from in the clinic, and sometimes people who are getting started don't realize that. It's just like a totally different game, different challenges, a different kind of paradigm altogether,
Yeah,
and some of it's logistic, some of it's emotional, some of it relates to boundaries, finances, business owning, all of that, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Boundaries are big. They're
Boundaries are
huge.
huge. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience with boundaries? I'm curious your thoughts on that.
So the mistake of using my own personal phone for my mobile, which now I can divide it up. But at the same time, I am a workaholic. So Sometimes I could book an appointment if I'm in the bathroom or if I'm like in Starbucks waiting for, so I could still make money. But you have to create boundaries. I have clients calling me after hours. I have people making me feel bad if I don't go see their dog. And I have to know that I do my best within the window of my work, and anything after is not my problem. People call me and they want to make me feel bad because I'm not doing an emergency. And it's like, I have family, I have a life, and we get very emotional. We want to help everybody, but we have to also keep our sanity. And I did that a lot. I worked weekends, I worked holidays, I worked after hours. And then it got to a point that I needed to say, this has to stop. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm closed and I don't work on the weekends. You need to go to an emergency clinic. And even though I want to help, I have to create that boundary because I need to love my job and I need to give my family the time they deserve and I need to last. And if you just continuously keep giving, they're going to take, and they're going to destroy you emotionally. A lot of vets, like, I worry about like suicidal and stuff because you give so much that if you don't have a boundary, it's going to destroy you. Yeah. So,
I agree with every word of that. I made the same mistake too. I started out with my personal number. I didn't have, I didn't do anything right. Nothing. So many people start out, just like you just start without knowing anything that you're doing necessarily. And some of us start out of desperation too, because we need to change something because we're so burnt out. And I didn't know what I was doing either. I started with my personal number. It's just a few clients. Like they're so sweet. I'm in their home. It feels like they're my friend. And at a certain point of time, you realize, like, oh my God, these are clients and they are putting pressures on me beyond what a friend would put on you. And it's just completely unsustainable. And so I love what you said about prioritizing your ability to last and your family. And, you need to be able to continue to do this. So I agree with every single word of that.
yeah. That's also nice that you have this podcast, that you're starting it because we don't have a lot of resources. I have looked for podcasts for veterinary alone, just for practical things, not like subjects, and there's nothing. And it's nice to have people like us that we've been through the struggle and maybe guide whoever's starting to understand and what maybe to look for so they don't make the same mistakes that we make. But definitely is a beautiful career. I feel bad because I hear a lot of vets, they hate their job and you have this gift and then you have this beautiful career that could heal and provide so much for animals, but you have to know how to adjust it so you could love it and love your life as well, you know? And
Exactly.
it worked like you work at a clinic. I remember I used to work at a vet clinic. They had 20 surgeries for me, exams every 15 minutes, no lunch. And they just work you. And then you go home and you're miserable, hate life, and you hate your job. And that's not supposed to be like that. You know what I mean? There's ways to have a beautiful career and love your job. You just have to know like how to get to it.
Absolutely. It's such a beautiful path. Learn how to heal animals. What could be more beautiful? And at the same time, we have to be so careful and nuanced in how we finesse what we're doing so that we don't give so much of ourselves that we lose ourselves to depression, to overwhelm, to burnout, to losing our families or whatever it is. It's just crazy to me. I think more and more in the last few years with Not One More Vet and organizations like this, there's become a lot more awareness. But I think on the day-to-day level, the more support we can get, the better.
Yeah.
Reminding each of us that we have to carve our own path. We have to find what works for us and our unique psyches. And, it's an emotional job. It's very emotional, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And so I think that's why one of the main reasons why I'm so passionate about mobile practice, house call practice, because it allows each of us to find exactly what we need within this work because
Yeah.
it can take so much from you. And so when we can have our boundaries, we can choose our boundaries, we can choose our lifestyle, then we have so much more to give in the
Yeah.
long term.
Absolutely. Because we're happy and I don't know, we're always giving, but I think that definitely we have a balance and it shows, you know? And I think like when you're at a clinic, you lose that quality of care because there's so much. It's just so many. they throw so many clients, so many patients at you. And I have all my clients. I know them, they know me, and it's just a great relationship compared to a regular brick and mortar.
I so agree with that. And so I checked out your website and I saw that your website looks awesome.
Thank
Your
you.
mobile practice looks amazing. So I saw that your interests include dermatology, internal medicine, surgery, and orthopedics. And I
Yeah.
saw that you have a full state of the art surgical suite and digital x rays for your clients. How did you set this up? This sort of like, I see you said you have this cozy boutique facility for those procedures. And it looks like you might be in that little cozy boutique right now. Is that right?
So when I was transitioning from being on my own, I have clients that needed spays and neuters and surgeries. So I would negotiate with the owner, the practice owner, a day where I could have them coming in and I could get a profit from it as well. And it worked out for a little bit, but then I decided to be on my own. And obviously, when you're on your own, you don't have anything. You have your car and the equipment that you have in your car. So I started referring to my friends, my clinics and my surgeries. And the client will be like, but I want you to do it. I want you to do the stay. And I'm like, well, I don't have a facility. Like, so then I started thinking about it. I'm like, I want to provide everything for my clients. So I went and I found a space and I was lucky that it was already sectioned and I leased it. And then little by little, I got loans. I actually used MWI and they provided everything that I needed to furnish the place. And then I got an extra machine and cages and I just paid the loan monthly payments. So this really helped. But I'm only here once a week and then I do all my surgeries and my x-rays here. And then I take appointments in the mornings and then I do mobile in the afternoon. So it's really helped. It became more profitable. And also I was able to provide everything for my clients. I could go to your house. You could come to me. I could satisfy the need of doing surgeries and taking extras like a regular vet and then also do go to the houses and do the house calls. So it's worked really well, and it's the overhead is low, so it's cool. I like it. Yeah,
That's so awesome. So you would say even having 1 day a week of a brick and mortar anchor, that's still, you've still got low overhead. Is that right?
yeah. After you pay I think the loans is low overhead, and then when I started adding appointments in the mornings, it helped a lot. So it's been working really well. It's helped me provide everything that I want for my clients. So we could do surgeries here. And I'm not an orthopedic surgeon, but I have a surgeon that comes in
Oh,
and then
cool.
surgeries here if there's an ACL or fracture. So I hire them and then they come in and they do it. And then my patients are under my care and not referred to other clinics. So
Got it. Oh, that's super cool. That's neat. I don't know of any other house call vets, I don't think, that are bringing in specialists for their patients. That's really cool.
house club vet in this area that he's been here for ages, for like 20 years. And I knew about him. I haven't met him yet, but we refer each other clients. And it's cool because I always said, I want to be like him. I want to be able to do what he does because he had his own facility. He did the same thing that I did. So it's really, really cool to be able to accomplish that and have everything that we need. I don't hospitalize. That's what I just don't do that. So I do have to refer any emergency or hospitalization out somewhere else.
Gotcha. I think that's true for most mobile practices, that most of us, it's kind of nice not to have to worry about the hospitalization component, right?
Yeah.
Um, I also wanted to check with you and see if you had any tips for people who would like to start up as a mobile vet. What would you say are your top 3 tips?
I say get your feet wet at a regular clinic. Learn how to do a lot. When you are working at a regular clinic, you let the techs do the IV catheters, you let them draw the blood. When you're a mobile vet, you have to do it yourself. You have to learn how to get everything you can. So, and then I don't think that being a mobile vet is for the new grad, to be honest with you, because when you go to a home, you have to be able to diagnose, you have to be able to do the site treatment right then and there and you need to have experience. So I say get some experience working at a clinic, get a lot of hands on, and then you could transition to be a mobile vet. But I don't think that it will be very hard to be a new grad as a mobile vet because you don't have that experience. You don't have the hands on or the theory that you could just run then and then know what's going on with the animal. So I would say get your feet wet first at a clinic and have some good experience and then transition and become really good at hitting the veins.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, because most of the time we're doing our own venipuncture. That's
Uh,
right.
Yep.
How long were you out of school before you started your mobile practice?
Like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah. Something like that.
Right. Yeah. And then I worked at a really busy clinic. So I saw a lot and I got to do a lot. But definitely when you go to homes, you have to draw blood or give injections, vaccinate, do everything on your own. And if you're not used to it, it's going to be hard to do it in front of a client or with the dog moving all over the place. And of course, even with a technician, it's hard, because you're not going to have 3, 4 technicians helping you.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any other words of encouragement for folks who are looking to get started?
I say you don't have to go start having a brick and mortar facility like I do because I started doing my own thing, but just get the licenses and have a card where you can have your equipment. You don't have to have a big old truck and just start little by little. I would say transition slowly. Just work at a clinic and little by little have clients. And then the more you get, the more comfortable you become. And then you start adding to your list of things or equipment that you need. And little by little, you'll know that eventually you could be on your own and you don't need to work for anybody else.
Perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, in summary, I'd like to ask you what your favorite tea or coffee or beverage is to drink while you're on your way to your house calls or when you're just relaxing at home. What do you drink?
I love Nespresso. I have a machine at home. I love it. And then I get to work and I do Starbucks. And then sometimes I get home and I have a glass of wine.
Very nice. Same here.
So that was the transition. You get caffeinated, you get home and wind it down, and then you have a glass of wine, but not every day. But that's my favorite beverages.
That's right. That's awesome. I always think of this as like half house call vet cafe, half house call vet wine bar.
A- After a busy day, you deserve a glass of wine.
That's right. That's right. House call vet and wine pair very nicely
Yes.
together, right? All right, Veronica, thank you so much for your time with me today, for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for the beautiful community that you've created on Facebook. And I hope you have a amazing rest of your day seeing your patients.
Thank you for what you're doing. This is amazing. I can't wait to keep watching your episodes and learning from other people and your conversations about getting more information about mobile vets.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the House Call Vet Cafe. If you enjoyed this episode, then hit the subscribe or follow button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts so you never have to miss an episode. This podcast is made specifically for you, so don't be shy if you'd like to reach out and let me know your thoughts on this episode. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook as the House Call Vet Academy, where I also share more valuable content. If you're interested in learning more about consulting for House Call Vets or the House Call Vet Academy online course and community, please click on the link in the show notes. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I can't wait for you to join us for our next episode of the House Call Vet Cafe.